Welcome, fellow human. Welcome to the Human Sanctuary. My name is Tara, and today I want to talk about a very hard topic, which is death, life, and grief. There's a quote about grief, and it says that grief is love with nowhere to land. And I can understand how that quote is very accurate. And I've had an experience, I'm grieving at the moment, and my experience has been a bit different. I have noticed that grief is love that lands on everything. There's a certain song that plays, a certain spot on the couch, a certain cup or mug, a certain movie, a certain phrase, a smell, a place, a routine, a spot on the bed. And I've realized that this love that I had for my dog lands everywhere. And in the grief I've experienced before, I recognize this. It lands on the memories. It lands on conversations you've had. It lands on thoughts and feelings you shared. It's not that it doesn't land anywhere, it's that it lands everywhere. The love you had with this person or creature lands everywhere. Sometimes I wonder why our first calling is sadness and anger when someone you love dies. Even though we know that death is engraved into this experience of life on earth. We know it is inevitable. We know it has to happen. Yet there's this inner torment that takes place. A deep journey of questions and a deep yearning to understand this death. We spend so much time living this life, comprehending and thinking and feeling and doing and taking action, growing, learning, making changes, having deep, insightful conversations with those that we love, and embarking on great adventures on your own and with others. And there's this element that appears without any of our contribution. It is an experience that appears whether we want it to or not. It is an experience that happens whether we are prepared for it or not. It's also beautiful and interesting how when an elderly passes, it is still an inner conflict. It is still something that we cannot fathom. It's something we question, even though we know the course of which we are on. Our whole lives, we focus on one major thing, not only, but we focus on what it means to be alive. What is my purpose? What is my meaning? What does my life here on this earth mean? And I've realized that when someone you love dies, you look at their life as complete. In our opinion, we might feel that it might not have been finished, or that there were still dreams to fulfill, people to meet, chances and experiences to have of this person, opportunity that this being no longer has on this earth with us. And I've also noticed the beautiful thing is that no matter how we perceive it, their life as a whole is complete. They have completed their name cycle. They have completed life within their being, within their vessel and within their life. Their story is written from beginning to end, and their purpose has been met. Their existence has been lived fully from beginning to end. Whether it ended abruptly or whether it ended within long due time or whether it ended peacefully. There is a story that they wrote, whether they know it or not, and I find that deeply inspiring, that when someone passes, we do not judge them for their mistakes, we do not judge them for the goals and dreams they didn't achieve. We don't hold them against the hurt they caused. We actually face the impact that they made on us. And that love that lands everywhere becomes very introspective as well, where we look inward and we recognize the deep, true impact that this being had on us, and how sometimes we could feel we might have taken it for granted, or we didn't say what we wish we did. We didn't do the things we planned to do. But there's an inevitable, perfect completion to their story. It's hard because it can feel like we are left behind, or they are now no longer experiencing life. It can take a lot of energy and emotion to process the death of a loved one, because we are pouring all our life into it. All we know is our love for this being and our experience of this being. Their story is complete and ours is still being written. And we are left with memories and a deep, vivid emotion of the impact this being had on us. And we never recognize how large it is. And I think that's why I feel called to forgive death, because death and life are intertwined. When there is death, we suddenly feel more alive. Not only I don't mean I feel alive, but the actual experience of being within flesh, within consciousness and awareness of emotion and the depth of this material world of life, we recognize that we are living. There's something that death does that brings us to the cycle. It brings us back to the awareness of our physical reality and the impact we have on one another. It makes you look at who and what you have and realize there is beauty in this present moment. There is a love and there is life that I have right now. And in the grieving process, it doesn't necessarily feel like let's go live life and achieve goals and meet people and do stuff. And it's about becoming extremely present and aware of where we are now. The longing is there, yes. We long and we yearn for this individual who's no longer with us here. There's another thing that I say when someone passes, and that is, they now know more than we ever could. They now know what comes next. They now know something that we cannot comprehend, that science cannot predict, and what religion speaks about often is the after. I have been contemplating on this, and this is just my personal thinking and my personal perspective. There's something about life and death that it feels that death is a gateway from life to another. And I understand this is the afterlife. It could be believed to be reincarnation, heaven or hell, nothingness, or a true engulfment in the awe of God and the universe. And it's hard because we don't really know, do we? I think that we believe in what resonates with us, and I think that's beautiful and important, and I have my own beliefs as well, and I'm in no way trying to dismantle that. This is simply an in-depth conversation I've had with myself on what does come next. And I was lying in my bed one night and I was thinking, we spend a lot of time here being alive, and when death happens, there's a great mourning that takes place, but there's also a feeling of they're not dead anymore. There's a period where they are dead. Just stick with me, just hear me out. I don't know. That they are dead. There is death, but at some point within grieving and life continuing for us, those who are still here, it does feel as though death isn't the right word anymore. Or if someone asks about this person or being years later, it doesn't feel right to say they're dead, because they're not anymore. They're somewhere else. They're something else. It's next. It's the after. It's life, death. And I came up with a word that comforted me. Labeth. Life, death, Labeth. 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 And I don't know why, but this word brought me comfort, because I felt that my being that has passed on is on a journey to Labeth. And it's not about me as a human trying to rationalize what comes after life, but almost just accepting that there's an unknowing place that they are now. And I actually Googled to see if Labeth means anything, and it's a resting place for lambs. So Lambeth is a place in England which was a harbour where they traded lambs, and in a lot of ways, in some ways it's like a resting place and an intersection place for lambs. And Labeth is a word that I made up to refer to the afterlife, because afterlife just insinuates when, but it doesn't encapsulate the experience of itself that beings step into. We here in life, we don't know what is in the afterlife. I mean, there's mass debates about it, but there is something after life. What is that? So I came up with the word Lebeth, which also is in respect to those who have passed on, and acknowledging that only they know, as if they have received the key, the answer, and access to something that we shouldn't know until we pass through death into Lebeth. Whether it's nothingness, whether it's everything, reincarnation, heaven, hell, this, that, maybe it's something we can't even comprehend with our mind and our thoughts and things. The point is to have the respect and know that it's something that they now have. It's something that they know and that we one day too will get to know. And while we're in life, this is where we are. I just thought it was beautiful when I googled it. Lebeth itself isn't a word in the dictionary or anything. It is in my heart, but the word that came up was Lambeth, and I thought it was quite symbolic and kind of cute that it was a resting place for lambs. Made me think that we're all tiny little lambs kind of moving from one place to another. Yeah. And I mean Lebeth metaphorically. Not that I believe they all turn into lambs on a field. I mean, maybe. Maybe they do. Maybe we do. We don't know. But it's a metaphorical Lebeth, a release that feels almost on our shoulders as those who are still in life, to come to terms with the fact that the soul that was once with us and the body that has died, that the spirit is now in Lebeth. And it's nice because I don't feel like I'm trying to understand what that means, or what it looks like, or what it feels like, or where it is, or it's just life, this vast, complex existence, death, this inevitable process that's encompassed within life, and Lebeth, whatever comes next, whatever that may look like. It brought me comfort that, I mean, maybe they're a spirit wandering this earth, maybe they're reincarnated, maybe they're in heaven. I don't like the idea of thinking about hell either. It's way too stressful. And there's this feeling of, we spend so much time in our lives trying to figure out what's right or wrong that I don't want to figure out where they go. They're in Lebeth, an unknown resting place that only they know, as if they have accessed a key to something that we one day will access, and we will die and move into Lebeth, a greater knowing. For so long it brought me comfort to say they now know more than we could. It seems as though we have so many answers to so many things, and when it comes to death, there aren't any. And that can be hard. We try to understand our emotions within grieving, and the anger and confusion and the sadness and the regret. There's also this feeling of guilt. What could we have done to avoid this? It is inevitable. We don't get to control love, and we don't get to control death. We get to live our lives fully and imperfectly, with authentic self-love and care and nurture. And I believe that true love and partnership that is completely aligned, and death is something that is outside of us. This experience that I've had recently has made me feel and ask questions. Why would God do this? And what is He trying to teach me? What am I being taught? What is the lesson? What is the purpose? Everything happens for a reason. And I realized I'm not being taught something because I'm lacking knowledge. It just does. Some experiences happen and it just does teach you something. It just does. It's not this intentional pain caused to teach us something. It just does. That can also sometimes be stress on us as we live further with the grief. What was the purpose? What was the point? What am I supposed to learn from this? And it can be hard because maybe we put a pressure on ourselves to understand and give meaning. But I think that's why Lebeth means so much to me, because it's not up to me anymore. They're in Lebeth. The grief and the emotions and the memories that we share of this being is ours now. It's ours to protect and think about and feel and share with those who are still here. This being, whether they have those memories or not right now in Lebeth, it's okay. Because the impact and the experience we have simply within our mind and being and material world of memories, seeing them move and hearing them. There's also something about death that makes us here in life recognize where we are overextending, where we are underestimating, where we are glamorizing. It helps us break down a few walls and recognize our reality for what it is. We realize how finite the experience of death can be. And it's scary. It's scary to think that one day it will all go away. But at the same time, it makes us realize how precious this experience really, really, truly is. How sweet the air can be. How colorful, how loud, how instrumental, and how intertwined the experience of being is. And how we are all spiritual dominoes moving around one another, creating this larger story. It makes our purpose bigger than we can control, because if we had to look at those who have passed and those who are in Lebeth, we don't ask ourselves, but did they complete their purpose? Did they live up to their full potential? That doesn't feel like a question that comes with grief. It feels like a complete knowing. We do not look at their mistakes. We do not look at the dreams unfulfilled. We look at what they lived and what they loved. And we are left with that amazing impact of their existence here. And I think we can learn a lot from that as well. And I hope that it can inspire us, because it is the same for us. Sometimes there's this pressure of purpose We are here, and that is the purpose. We are here to live life, and we are here to die one day. And we will one day know Lebeth. We will one day know what they now know. And I'm excited to one day witness that. No matter what that experience may be, I don't even want to comprehend it. I kind of surrender the thought. Because it's Lebeth. It is a resting place. It is a metaphorical resting place. It is the place we go, whether we agree on what that is or not. There is only one answer, and there's only one way to find that, and that is through passing. But I also think that there is a vivid experience here, within life. There is a story to be written, a domino effect, without pressure, one that you get to have a say in. We get to experiment and explore this playground within a period of time. We don't get to choose what life we land in, but we do live it regardless. We can never deny that they lived. They lived for the whole thing. They were alive for the whole thing. There truly is only one thing to do here, being alive. And I think that the forgiveness in death is that it is there, next to this experience that we're having. It's not an anomaly, it's not alien. It is as real as life itself. And it's scary, just as life is. Life is terrifying, and so is death. Life is beautiful, and so is death. Life is hard, and so is death. Life is complex, and so is death. And the biggest thing I want to share today is that is okay. It is okay that it is hard. I can share all this, and it is still hard, and I still question, and I still don't truly understand. And the biggest takeaway I want to say is that the impact that they had on you was love and life to the fullest. And their death showed you how raw and real it was. And I hope that you look at everything around you with care and love. Love fully. Love with kindness. Make your impact. Don't put pressure on yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive the larger being you believe in, because death is part of this process. We cannot hate it, cannot blame it. We can be angry, we can be sad, we can feel guilt, we can feel all those things, but inevitably we need to learn to forgive death, because it is part of life. Life and death are intertwined, and they teach each other lessons that we'd never know. If you are grieving now, no matter how long ago the death happened, I'm sending you so much care, so much love, and you are doing the best you can to live, and that is all you need to do. You are grand, and they were epic. No matter their story, no matter what they did, they were epic, and they lived. They were here. They are now in Lebeth. They are in what's next, and they know more than we do. Crazy, isn't it? I love you, and I'm sending so much care and gentleness to you, your friends, your family, to whomever is in your space, whomever is in your life. Live your life to the fullest, no pressure. You're alive. That's enough. And when the time comes, you'll know more. But until then, you are alive. And hold on to that. Hold on to each other. Hold on to life. Release expectation, release the pressure, because the impact that you have on everyone around you is just as magnificent and grand as they had on you. You are perfect how you are, and you are capable of anything. And be gentle. I'm sending you love and care, and I hope that this video finds you well. I'm not really sure how to end this because it feels very intimate, and if you've watched this full video, just be. It's gonna be okay. Thank you for being here.